this video, I'm going to be recapping my hits from Week 9 for CWL against Exit Humanity. So, I did go 3 for 3 at Town Hall 10 this war. Didn't have any 12v12 opportunities. We only were able to free up one with how we did at Town Hall 11. So, I'm going to be recapping both my Town Hall 11 hits and 2 Town Hall 10 hits. My third one that tripled was actually on an identical base from last CWL, believe it or not, so I'm not sure what the odds are of that, so you can always check out that previous video for that attack. So, I've been digging drags lately, so my thought process on this base is getting this good funnel. I see I could pick off this AD, or this AD, with this one being the really obvious one for how easy it's going to be to get to, even if a Tesla pops here, as all these Town Hall 10 hits are fresh, and both the 11s I was able to have scouted, one by myself and one by somebody else. So I'm going to have my queen over here to get this AD, and my king down at 6 to run down this way and set the funnel. I'm going to have my stone slammer to direct target, or as close as possible to get that inferno tower. Maybe I'll drop it even farther over here. Just kind of depends on what I'm seeing and what my drags are taking out early. So either way, have the stone slammer for that inferno tower and a haste for when it does pop. And I have my drags for this area right through here on the entry. So I'm a little concerned that I'm going to be fighting a sweeper, and I'm going to have to go through both heroes and the clan castle. And if my drags peel off, I got a couple storages over here. But I do have a hound to tank the initial AD along with any traps, so that should be really helpful. I do only have 4 loons. I've been running this pretty low on loons, especially since I'm rocking the hound to soak up traps. So I do have the 4 loons, see if I can pick off anything that the hound wouldn't grab. And beyond that, I'm a little concerned about the sweeper, but for the most part I feel pretty confident going in on this one. And I like that this over here has some dead patches, as the sweepers obviously aren't doing damage but can hold me back a little. And this is dead zone, this area back here is dead zone, this is dead zone, this is dead zone. So with all those, it makes me a bit more comfortable running drags, since I know I only have the one spell with the rage on them. So it's going to mean I'm going to have less hitting me under fire with the base not quite as compact. So I do feel really confident on this one, and I feel like the funneling should be very straightforward. My queen doesn't have to grab too much, and my drag should have really good pathing. So let's take a look at how this one turned out here. Here we go, as I'm going to start this funnel nice and early. Got my king down at 6, and I'm going to start my queen in a sec. I knew she was going to be under archer tower fire quickly. I did run the risk, if I started her higher up, of her pathing really badly and just not getting the air defense. So I knew I was probably only going to get minimal value, but I really just needed the very mild funnel and that air defense down. So with my king drop, he ended up actually going to the right, unfortunately, so I didn't get the funnel exactly I was looking for. Do start with a loon over at 3 to try and soak up any traps. A couple drags on the town hall. My king is going to join them in a moment. They ran a lot of small clan castles, so even with my king going in, I'm not worried about him drawing a hound out or anything. I don't think we saw too many of those. So start the spread on the drags. I am going to start the slammer in a sec, just at 3. There it goes. And I am going to be fighting the sweeper, and the clan castle is going to come out in just a sec. Get that rage down right as the clan castle is coming out. It is a small clan castle with the dual witch in it and the baby drag, so my poison is just straight up too shallow, so I don't end up getting a bunch of skeletons, including the ones that run off once the witches do die. My stone slammer pops and I get the haste down, so I get really good value from the stone slammer. My drags are pretty evenly spread. They're just stuck on skeleton after skeleton, though, so that was really partially my mistake, partially just luck of the draw with the skeletons really quickly running out of the poison. So my loons are going to die out before they can get too much more done. I did have 5 cleanup minions, and I've already started those, so that's going to prevent me from timing out, hopefully. So my drags are still on the skeletons in the middle, and that was really just irritating, because I knew that it would easily get through this base if I didn't make any major mistakes. Unfortunately, that was a major mistake. So at this point, the Inferno Tower's up with about a third of its health left, and I'm going to lose this other dragon here in just a sec. He does take out that Archer Tower, I believe, which is really crucial, as it probably would have picked off my last dragon. So I do have one dragon left and just a few minions helping clean up. So I have no idea if I'm going to pull through this. I do see my dragons near full health, which is really good. Does have to beat through storage. I do have that minion up at 11:30, helping clean things up so that drag doesn't have to go through too much to backtrack. As I believe it was close on time here. Does pick up a red air bomb as well. So at this point, I have no idea if it's going to triple. I didn't close out on this one. Toughed it through, just nerve-wracking the whole time, and luckily, with that much health, I was just able to pick it up. Thank goodness. So, alright, we're going to take a look at the next one, which is a P.E.K.K.A. Hog attack, with it being really heavy on the kill squad. My plan here is to come in on the 3 to 6 side. Once again, the town hall is over yonder, as I am going to have 5 P.E.K.K.A.s for this with 11 wizards, so I'm going really heavy on the kill squad, and how I distribute my spells is going to reflect that, as I'm just going to have 1 heal for my hogs. Everything else is going to be invested in the kill squad. As would be expected, I'm going to have a P.E.K.K.A. funnel at 3 and at 6 with plenty of wizards behind to help reinforce it. I really want to get the value out of my kill squad with those wizards. So I'm going to have those, and then the other 3 P.E.K.K.A.s are going to be coming in spread out through there, along with the wall wrecker is going to be pretty high, right around there, give or take. And both my heroes behind it. Of course, I'm a little concerned about walking potential through this area. But what I'm seeing on this base is if things do go in through there approximately, that a jump spell opens up everything, and every single thing there is reachable from these compartments right in there. So that's what I'm seeing, so that's why I'm thinking really heavy kill squad. I did consider witches, but sometimes I know when the Infernos are near the edge like this, there will be giant bomb traps and stuff like that that can really thwart it. This was fresh, of course, so there could have been giant bomb, could be Tesla there, could be Tesla there. Any form of Tesla traps or giant bombs there, there. So that's always concerning. Could be a Tesla farm there. I don't really know. I do know that if there's something like a Tesla farm, I can always drop an extra P.E.K.K.A. or my king around there. So I'm hoping if I can get things to roll inward and not run around, that this base should be pretty well wrecked from the kill squad, and the hogs will have minimal to clean up here. So that's the thought process behind this, with so much access in this core that it's really hard not to run a large kill squad into there. Especially because something else like drags, no matter what direction you choose, you're fighting 2 sweepers. You're fighting 1 sweeper from either direction pretty much, and they have good spread on the air defenses, good spread on the Inferno Tower, and of course, if you run heroes, you're pretty likely to draw out the clan castle somewhere, so you're not sure if you're going to draw a small clan castle or a hound or anything like that. So let's take a look at this and see how it turned out for me. Here we go, starting the P.E.K.K.A.s nice and early, 1 down here at 6 with the wizard, 1 down here, or up here at 3, couple wizards behind that, 3 wizards in fact. Gonna get these other P.E.K.K.A.s down pretty quickly as well. Drop my 3rd, 4th, and 5th, get the wall wrecker going in nice and early, got the P.E.K.K.A.s out in front. Hoping the wall wrecker can get deep enough for that jump spell to open everything up. Got both my heroes down behind, still concerned about them walking, but they do go in, I do believe. Clan Castle draws out nice and early. I do get a good poison down this time, unlike the last attack where it almost ruined it. Do get a freeze down. I don't get the witch, but I get just about everything else, and the witch isn't too much of an issue for me this time. Wizards and Queen help take out the baby drag nice and quick. My wall wrecker is still very full health, and I actually end up breaking open right in the middle of the core. So that jump spell ends up being just about useless for me, as I didn't anticipate my wall wrecker getting that far. I do still have the rage and the heal for my bowlers, as they're going to get great value taking out both bomb towers, a couple expos, and I believe they fall just short on the Inferno Tower. I do pop my queen, and she's able to clear out quite a bit of area. Start my hogs up here at about 130 to direct target the Inferno Tower when I see the bowlers aren't going to get it. I do have a couple more here to sprinkle in, trying to avoid running into a giant bomb, as it's pretty clear that it's going to be right there next to between the Tesla and the mortar. Do run into it, but I'm just enough under heal still that it's able to push me through. And I have just a couple hogs here to try and avoid this last giant bomb that's very likely between the mortar and Tesla. And I do catch it still, but luckily the rest of the base is already pretty well gone. Got cleanup down nice and early during that, and going to triple with a few hogs left and a few wizards up. Not a blowout by any means, but really happy to get that. So we're going to jump over next to number 11 for one of my favorite attack strategies, P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. And here we go. As looking at this base, the first thing I notice is that this is all open right through here. So jump spell may not be necessary, but at the same time, I do want to get to this Inferno Tower, and I'm not very confident the wall wrecker is going to get all the way there, especially since they've been running a lot of smaller CCs and the queen's right next to it. So CC can get out in front, and then the queen can do some work on the wall wrecker, even if she is under poison. So what I'm thinking here is pretty basic P.E.K.K.A. funnels at both 3 and 6. And then from there, I can kind of spread it however I want to, as I'm going to have this wall wrecker come straight through that Inferno Tower. What a horrible line that was. Straight through the Inferno Tower, so it doesn't really need too much backup to get through that compartment. So really I can just have stuff flood through the middle here. So that's what I'm going to do with the other 3 P.E.K.K.A.s and bowlers and my heroes coming right through the middle here. Have that jump right on the clan castle to really finish opening things up, and really want to make sure I get that Inferno Tower. I have an Ice Golem and 1 freeze, just going to kind of drop it wherever I need to. I can pretty well direct target that Wizard Tower. This one's pretty deep, so that one might be the one I need to freeze if my kill squad doesn't get it, which it should roll right through it. And this Wizard Tower, I don't have a great direct target on it, unfortunately, but I don't think that should be too much of an issue with being able to drop the Ice Golem wherever I need it in there to help that Wizard Tower get tanked. So I'm not able to pick up the Town Hall for free, which is a bummer, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a big deal, as the kill squad really should drive this attack and help wreck through this base. I really like that both of these are open. I love that all this is open, and should really just roll through with the power of the kill squad. So let's take a look at that. Here we go. As start my P.E.K.K.A. down here. I did have a scout for it, and I missed that troll Tesla, but I did catch that there's a troll at 9 that I have a Valk for. So I am forced to drop another P.E.K.K.A. there, so it's going to end up walking, as it wasn't fully thought out. Don't think it should hurt me too much. I do drop another Wiz to help pick off that mortar and stuff. And really it helps set a really nice funnel, prevent anything from walking. Have most of my troops going in right there at 430, and wall wrecker going in, have that P.E.K.K.A. on the outside, nice funnel. Get that poison down in a good spot, able to pick up those witches and the baby drag. Get the poison, wall wrecker crushes through that Inferno Tower there. Get the first rage down for my bowlers, P.E.K.K.A.s, and heroes. Warden ability nice and early, and I think something that was probably unnecessary was that jump, since I was going to end up having my wall wrecker get all the way through there. Wasn't sure if it would, but it did. So my queen, and truthfully this was probably the biggest difference in the attack. My queen just peels off from everything else, and she's going down here closer to 6 and 7 o'clock. So she really doesn't get the value that I was hoping for from her if she'd stayed with my kill squad there, as I still have healers, bowlers, P.E.K.K.A. and king up. Pop my king to help get through that wall quickly. At this point, I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I want to drop my bats. I don't have a good direct target for either of these Wiz Towers with the Golem, so I do drop it from over here thinking should be in range of that Wizard Tower. Unfortunately, it's not. It's a tenth of a tile away, a quarter of a tile away. So I'm not quite in range there. I do drop the bats. I did look back at this 2 or 3 times. Alright, probably 5 or 6 times, just to see if my king and P.E.K.K.A would have backtracked to distract that wizard tower so I could use the freeze on the other one. I concluded they wouldn't have, which is really a bummer, um, as my bats end up getting eaten up by this wizard tower since I only did have that one freeze. I do have cleanup started pretty early. This does end up, unfortunately, timing out. So this is my second fail of the season, and it's going to fall short at 97%. Just couldn't quite get that ice golem targeted by that wizard tower. Oh, I was so mad when it happened. And truthfully, I felt like it was just a bad break from the kill squad. Like, they didn't get the value they could have, at least the queen, to pick up those wizard towers. But with that being said, I was able to convince Ratty to go in and give it a go, and as you can see here, he crushes it with about 20 seconds to spare. He does make some adjustments, of course, as everybody attacks a little differently. Does have an E-Drag down here at 6. Gets okay value, maybe not great. Really, he goes lighter on the cleanup is something that saved him, and in comparison to me for getting the troop space for that E-Drag. So it does still have 5 P.E.K.K.As here. Gets the E-Drag down, has a minion helping to funnel. Gonna drop P.E.K.K.A up at 3 in just a moment here. So E-Drag gets pretty good value, really. It sets the funnel well, and that's what you're always asking for most of the time when you're doing that E-Drag. So, starts his kill squad out. He is going to place his wall wrecker here in a second, and it actually misses that Inferno tower, and as you're going to see, this kill squad runs really slowly, but it just absolutely crushes the base anyway, despite that. So, it does pick up the bomb tower with the E-Drag going off. Gets a good poison down here as well. Gets that rage. Only carries 1 rage, takes an extra bat and a freeze there. Still has the jump spell. Wall Wrecker does take more fire than mine did on this time. And he does go with P.E.K.K.A and 2 loons there, as he's just relying on the strength of his kill squad to continue crushing through this, and he does have a bit more with his P.E.K.K.A, or with his back end bats to help take this out. Gets the king off, picks up the wizard tower. I had to bat bomb in there. And his kill squad is still going, the healers are still up, and they really keep everything up. Starts the bat wave down from 6. Does use a free spell, make sure that wizard tower goes down. Still has a couple P.E.K.K.As in the core there, still has his queen, just now pops her, and able to take care of the rest of that splash, and even save a free spell. So his kill squad, even though he invested a little bit more troop space into it, but less spell space, ended up getting more done than mine did, and it was a really smooth attack from him. Partway through, I was a little concerned, but once you got another 10 or 15 seconds in, you could see that the base was going to be wrecked. Kill squad was slow, but it just wouldn't die down with the healers especially staying up. So, Ratty with a beautiful cleanup there, and happy to highlight him as finishes on the Town Hall. Alright, we're going to take a look at my last 11v11 try here. Here we are, as I'm going in with another P.E.K.K.A Bobat. This is my first 11v11 actually, with me falling short on my second. Here, as it's pretty close to the same comp. I do have 7 wizards. I'm assuming that I'm not going to be able to get that, or I'm not assuming, I was actually able to get a self-scout on this, sorry. So I know I'm not going to be able to get that Town Hall for free with Teslas back there. So, not a big deal though, so I know I don't need that troop space. So I do have 7 wizards, and I drop a P.E.K.K.A here, P.E.K.K.A here, a couple wizards to help funnel. It is a very, very, very wide funnel, but with the self-scout, I know that I can absolutely accomplish it without things walking if it breaks well. There was still a risk of things walking just because it's hard to get this full layer funneled, and I know like these air defenses can draw things, but I think it's worth the risk. So I'm coming in from about here, give or take, with the wall wrecker, and I have a jump just in case I don't get all the way over there. I don't think I will. I think it'll pop somewhere in here. But I was able to scout it, and the wall wrecker, even at a Town Hall 10, ends up getting all the way toward this back end area. I still bring the jump just in case, and I really like the opening that it does to pick off this entire back end with my kill squad if I'm able to get there. And was able to scout, and I had a giant target this wizard tower, so I'm going to replace that, of course, with an ice golem to get that taken care of, and bat bomb this inferno tower with a max freeze and my 5 bats. Always take that max freeze if you're bat bombing a single inferno tower with nothing else around it, like this attack. Otherwise, that half second or second and a half, whatever the difference is between being a 10 or a max 12 or an 11 and a max 12 is the difference between your bats dying to the Inferno Tower and not. So I do have 2 rage for here and somewhere about there, maybe a little shallower. I'm hoping to get really deep though. So it's a really wide funnel, but I know it's possible thanks to the scout. Bringing everything in through there, and these bats should be able to get through this back end area. I do need this Inferno Tower with the kill squad for sure, and I do anticipate picking up that Wizard Tower. If I don't, I'm thinking my kill squad, because of how deep it got on my scout at Town Hall 10, should be able to finish off this area with the Teslas and Wizard Tower here. So let's take a look and see how that one turned out. Here we go, as I'm going to start my funnel nice and early with the P.E.K.K.A.s and Wizards going in. So, starting here at 6 and at 3 in just a moment with plenty of Wizard backup for it. So, I'm going to start the other P.E.K.K.A.s pretty shortly here, and I'm going to wait a little on the bowlers, as the scout revealed. Gotta wait a little while, otherwise they could still walk. So, do get the P.E.K.K.A.s out, do get that wall wrecker down, have my queen going. Luckily, the cannon targets the P.E.K.K.A. just a couple seconds before my queen would have stepped in range of it. Get the healers going down, Eagle starts firing off, get the rest of my heroes going down. At this point, you may look at it and think, you still have this whole first layer that isn't funneled, and I absolutely agree, and that is worrying. But the scout showed that, hey, it's not a big deal. Things are still going to go in as long as I had relatively the same pathing, which I did, so I was really happy about that. Break through that first and second layer with the wall wrecker, get that first rage down as I'm heading into that expo section. Is the Hound Loon, so I do get the poison down for the Loon. Kill squad is still going strong here as bowlers peel off to try and take out that expo. And Hound Pop's not a big deal usually, it's just more of a hold up for the queen than anything. So, and Wallwrecker actually does end up getting almost everywhere that jump did. Probably should have I definitely should have placed the jump a bit higher to get to the King Altar area. Don't think it really made too much of a difference. Have the bats coming in on that Inferno Tower and the Ice Golem going. Already have that cleanup whiz down nice and early for the storages. And popped my king. Still have my queen ability here. Gonna pop her on these Teslas in just a moment. She is able to get that back end whiz tower. And I already have cleanup down. Ice Golem still up. And able to finish off this base fairly comfortably. So, yeah, so I had really good war for the most part. Really disappointed that I did fall short on 111v11. Really happy that Ratty was able to show that it was more a bad break than anything. But at the end of the day, that's how you fail. You get bad breaks. So, really happy he was able to clean that up, and really happy that I was able to go 3 for 3 on 10v10 and get a scout. I believe we just barely outdid them at 10v10, as we had 7 scouts in total and they had 6, I want to say. So really nice war from both clans, even though they were able to pull it out. So still happy with our performance for the most part. Just wish we were able to get it, and really that was more so just needing just a few more 11v11s to open up those 12v12 tries. So thanks for watching, and that was great. So I really enjoy these recaps, and can't thank people enough for anybody who watches this and anybody who learns anything from it. And pray to the Lord I'm able to get my mic eventually. I might actually just reorder a different one, and maybe a better one. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that this one isn't showing up after a couple weeks. So it is what it is, though. So thinking next video will actually probably be a shorter opinion piece on the early season NBA and what to make of it and who's real, who's not, and kind of like a tier ranking of who's an actual contender, who's not a contender, and who's just kind of that fake in between that people are going to talk about as, hey, they might have a dark horse shot, but we all really know in our heart of hearts that they're probably not going to make it there. So, all right, thank you for watching.